Hello my soil fam, I came out to the garden to share with you some of the things that are going on. So these are some yard long beans that I planted, and as you can see they are doing great. This one here is a better bush tomato, and it looks like there is some bug damage. There is a worm on here, and I also see the worm poop, so I'm going to take care of this with some DE. I'm just going to sprinkle it on the underside of the leaves so that it can take care of these worms on my tomato plant. So when you're using DE, make sure that you use a mask because it can cause you some respiratory issues. So this one here is my banana mint, and it's looking pretty good. This one here I have in my hanging basket. It's some butter crunch lettuce. I guess it's really good because it's been eaten completely down. These cucumbers in this raised bed are very plentiful, and I mean these cucumbers get really big. I also have citronella here to ward off some of the mosquitoes. I get so excited every time I pass this grapevine. Do you see this? They are really ripening. Oh my God, it's almost time to harvest. So this is the chicken garden here. So I have some mint. This one is chocolate mint, and it looks like it's trying to spread out into the yard. I have some echinacea here. Some of the things the girls have eaten up. This one is another mint plant. You see they've eaten up my green beans, the microgreens. These green beans are doing pretty good. It looks like there are beans coming on them. They haven't eaten those up yet, so that's a good thing. They did save me some. This one is an apple mint. It's doing pretty good. And then these are my sunflowers. This poor little guy has died, and these are doing pretty good. They are very pretty, nice to look at when I come outside. And this one looks like it's getting ready to bloom. And this is my chamomile. The girls have been chewing on it, so I'm going to trim this back some. And this is my banana plant. Yes, I still haven't taken the babes out of there, but it's looking good. So I pulled out a couple of tomato plants in this raised bed that weren't doing anything, and when I pulled them out, I looked at the roots and realized they weren't getting enough water. So these are my lemon cucumbers. This is my first time planting them. I think I'm going to go ahead and harvest them. Not really quite sure when I'm supposed to harvest them, but I think I'm going to harvest them anyway. These are my bush beans. They're getting taller. They're looking good. There's a little watermelon coming on my sugar baby watermelon plants, and there's several flowers here, so I am excited about that. I hope they do well. And then I did drop some more honey and pearl corn seeds out here. And my blackberry plant, I went ahead and put it in this 15-gallon container until I start clearing out raised beds for the fall. And then this is my bell pepper plant. It's doing well. These are the latest ones that I planted, and there are several flowers on them. So I hope they do well because I cook a lot with bell peppers. These are my watermelon plants. I do see more watermelons coming on these, so I am happy about those. Here is my squash. I want to go ahead and get that before it gets any bigger. This one is my early girl, and look, it's kicking out fruit. These plants I will always grow in my garden. This is dandelion and sorrel. Dandelion is a superfood. Sorrel is packed with so much vitamin C, so I like to use those for smoothies. Also, I will put those in my salads as well. The dandelion is a little bitter, but if you mix it with other things, it's great. So this is my mystery tomatoes. So there are tomatoes growing at the top now as well as the bottom. This plant wasn't looking all that great. This is another bell pepper plant that's been in here for months, and it just wasn't looking great, but now it's flowering and I'm happy about that. And this is my grandson's little garden. His lacinato kale and his onions, they are doing good. So this is my first time planting artichoke, and so it's looking good for now. We're going to see how it goes. These are my patio tomatoes. This is my little dwarf Roma. It's doing good. And then I have another little dwarf tomato here. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Little Bling, but it's doing well also. So these are my latest little babies here. This is my basket of fire peppers, and look, they are kicking out peppers. They are giving. And this is my other little dwarf tomato. It's in a hanging basket. These are some of my kale plants, and they are looking really good. I harvested quite a bit off of those the other day and cooked them. These are my dwarf blackberries, and they are starting to spread out really good. So we're going to see how they do and how they fruit in these raised beds here. I'm sure they're going to do well though. So this is my pepper bed. So I do have some jalapenos in here. However, I think I'm going to let them get a little bit bigger. I don't think I'm going to harvest those right now. And then I do have some bell peppers in here. I think I'm going to let those get a little bit bigger also. Patio cucumber. This plant has been so plentiful. I've been harvesting off this plant daily. I do see one on here that didn't get pollinated, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. You see how it looks like it's dying? Anyway, so these are my sweet potatoes. They've been sitting in my greenhouse for a while. I just let them sit there so they can start growing slips on them, and then I will plant them either sometime this month or the beginning of August so that I can have them for the holidays. So I'm going to go ahead and start harvesting some of these lemon cucumbers. This is my harvest of the lemon cukes. I did get some tomatoes as well. It looks like a rodent or something bit into one of my tomatoes, so that's going in the garbage because we will not be eating behind the rodents. I was really happy to see this Calabacita squash today because I was actually going to toss these plants because I hadn't seen any activity on these plants, but I'm happy to see that, so I'm guessing they can stay a little bit longer. If you're not producing, you gotta go. This is another jalapeno plant that's in one of my raised beds, so I think I'm going to harvest some of these peppers as well. So I love to inspect the leaves on my pepper plants because the pests are loving my pepper plants. So I make sure to look at these every day. You see that? See, my candy cane peppers are starting to turn red. So I am excited about these little candy cane peppers. And this is my giant Marconi. It's starting to turn red also. Can't wait. And these are my strawberries. So the strawberries are starting to produce again, and my lovely dog decided that she was going to chew a couple of them off. So anyway, that's the story of my life with these animals. They will not stay out of my garden. So right here I planted some amaranth. Once they get big enough, I'm going to separate them. I planted some lettuce in here, but I don't see any germination yet. So these are my chive seeds. I'm going to go ahead and harvest these seeds so I can plant them again for the fall. So I'm shaking them into this cup because I couldn't find my brown paper bags, but this is what the seeds look like. You see that? So in this raised bed, it was a lot of aphids on these chives, so I went ahead and cut them all the way down and put some DE in there. I think I'm going to take them out completely, and then I'm going to drop some more seeds once all this clears out. So I'm going to be putting these seeds in a little plastic bag until I get ready to use them. So here's my seeds. Of course I dropped some, but I got most of them. So these are the jalapenos that are in my AeroGarden. So I'm going to be harvesting some of these as well. They are definitely big enough. These are the potapenos, the dwarf jalapeno plants. So we're going to go ahead and start taking these off. I am working with one hand and I don't want to tear up my plants. And so I'll bring you back and show you what I harvested from these plants. So these are the jalapenos that I harvested from the AeroGarden. This is what I have harvested so far. I harvested some lemon cucumbers, some tomato, a patio cucumber, and some jalapeno. And then think I'm gonna let these get a little bit bigger. I don't think I'm gonna harvest them yet. Oh goodness, I forgot to harvest a couple of other things, so I'm gonna go back out to the garden to harvest them, and in the meantime I'm gonna stop by the coop to see what these girls are doing. Oh, they're doing fine. I try to go and pass by and check out their water level. It's been so hot today. So these are my Asian cucumbers, and as you can see, these cucumbers have gotten big. So I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to take this one off as well. And then now I'm going in to get my my squash. I don't want to leave it on there another day because I don't like when they get too big, because then they're too seedy, and yeah, I don't like them with all those seeds in them. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my squash here, and look at this beauty. So I'm gonna be cooking that this weekend. So now my harvest is complete, and I will go ahead and show you what I have harvested. I harvested some yellow cukes, some tomatoes, some squash, some cucumbers. And now I'm gonna gather up these girls. It's almost time for them to go in. You see this one, she's always eating out of the garden. Lord have mercy. So Miss Goldie is getting ready to get her bath. I have some Epsom salt, some warm water. And look at Miss Goldie girl getting her bath, and she really enjoys her bath too. She just kind of hangs out. And I didn't get to blow dry her though, because it was just too hot, and I don't want to stress her out with all that heat. Even if I put it on low, it's just too hot right now to be blow drying. So I'm going to get her as dry as I can, and then she's going to go back in her house and go to sleep. So she is all done with her bath. Say good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. Happy backyard farming, y'all.